Hey guys, Jeremy here at mywaymfg. You see the Model T in the background. You was probably hoping for a Model T video, but you're going to get a garage video because that's what I've been doing all week. Let me show you what we picked up at Menards the other day. Yeah, look at them 2x12s. 14 foot long and 12 foot long. All of them 6x6s. And then an ass load of 2x8s. There's two 16 foot 2x12s. Yeah. Anyway, okay, these rafters split in the middle and they set on that beam up there. And I've put a pole underneath that header down by the staircase. Of course, that sets on a footing. So that's pretty well supported there. When you get over to this side, that beam up there is setting on this 2x4 barely. And this 2x4 is basically setting on nothing other than it's pinched in behind them boards. So I put a screw jack in there. I got to cut out everything on this corner down to the footing so I can get another post in here. So all this framing right here in this corner has got to come out. That 2x4 that's underneath that beam's got to come out. And near as I can tell, that's the only thing that's holding up this whole roof. I think if that 2x4 was knocked out of there, this whole thing would fall. Because there's nothing else under this except for these boards along that wall, but they're just nailed into that one rafter or joist, which is only a 2x4. So I think as soon as I got tension on the screw jack right now. I think all the weight's on in. As soon as I cut that out of there, that whole end of that roof is going to be setting on that screw jack. Then we'll try to get another post in there and let this header back down onto it. So I'm going to start cutting this stuff away and hope that the roof doesn't fall on top of me while I'm doing it. I just made a saw mark down through there and you can see there's no weight on that. So I guess all my weight's on my screw jack. It's on something. At least I know it's not on here. So I'm going to rip these off the wall here and keep going. Maybe those 2x4s they've got scabbed in along that wall that they had the boards nailed to. They might be kind of helping hold something, but I got to imagine right now most of the weight's got to be on that screw jack. Get this out of the way. Alright, got a notch in that corner, clear down to the footing. I'm going to put a level on this footing. If that footing's level, I'm just going to take a measurement off the last post I cut and cut it the same. That should be right. I don't want to take any measurements off this beam up here because I think it's got a bow in it. I've never string lined it or anything, but I'm sure there's a bow in that. So I'll get another post cut same length as this one, And wherever that ends up, I'm just gonna let it down to it. The footing's good and level right there. Let's check it in a few more places. And maybe off just a little. Let's check it up here. It's pretty good. I'm gonna say that's pretty level. We're just gonna measure another post, whatever length this one is. Let our header back down onto it. And up inside that door, I can tell that my floor height should be right at the top of that course of block. So I made a mark down here. This is where we're putting the pole. Got the relief cut there. My floor height is right here at the top of that. Okay, we got a 2x8 floor joist. It's actually 7 3/8. That takes us down to here. And then an 1 1/8 deck board will be going on top. That gives a total of 8.5 from this line to the top of that block. It's 8.5. So I've marked that pole. I'm gonna cut some inch deep slots in there for the 2x12 to countersink into the poles and set on something. I didn't do this one yet because I figured I could do it later after it was up and I had all my heights right. This one I got to do now because I won't be able to get the circular saw back in there. So we'll do this one, level across with our 2x12s, and then we'll cut this one. And then we'd have our first back support done, I'm thinking. So I'm gonna notch that out, get a chisel in there and clean it up and get this first post set. I got about a half an hour doing this and then I'll get you back in here and show you what's next. Hundreds of cuts. I wish there was a quicker way to do that. If there is, I don't know it. But get these broke out of here and go get a chisel, start cleaning it up. Alright, there's our first notch. I'll go get a chisel and clean that up a little bit. That probably took me about 20 minutes of continuous cutting to do that. And it is going to make me wish I would have done this one while it was on the ground, because I'm going to have to do that off the ladder now, and it's going to be hard. But if I get all these done now, it is going to make it easier for me to get the 2x12s up, because they're heavier than hell. And at least by doing this, I got a pocket for them to set in, you know, so I don't have to hold them as I'm putting them up there. But a lot of work getting these notches in. That'll give the deck real good support, give it a little extra there. And we'll put this together with some construction screws for now, but I'll probably end up putting some like 3/8 bolts through, you know, before it's all said and done. Got that all cleared out. Let's make for nice looking notches, you know. Anyway, see if we can get this set up. All right, guys, got that post up. I'm gonna lay a 2x8 up there in that notch and level it across to this one and then mark it. There's gonna be a 2x12 there, but they're hard to work with. This big heavy stuff, these 6x6s and all these notch cutting and 2x12s, hard to work with. As I'm working on this morning, it's Thursday. I was gonna try to post this video probably Saturday afternoon. I honestly don't know how far I'll get. It's pretty time consuming just because everything is so big and heavy. And it looks like I'm overbuilding it. The guy at Menards asked me if I was building a dinosaur cage. But thinking about maybe putting a hot tub up there. I don't want that falling, you know. I keep seeing these hot tubs show up on Marketplace for free. That pretty much should tell me I don't want one. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going here. So I'm working by myself here. I just screwed a piece of 1x to the bottom of that notch. Give me something to set the end on. Get it up there by myself a bit easier. I got that marked out to make room for the 2x12. Now for 1,000 little cuts. That was time consuming when it was on the floor. It's going to be even worse doing it upright, you know. But anyway, I'll get going here. I'll get you back in here when I finish this. You guys don't want to see this. Got that first 2x12 up. I still got to notch the backside to get the other one up, but boy, that looks pretty substantial, doesn't it? I screwed up on my notch up there somehow. I got it, instead of cutting it 11 3/8, it looks like I might have cut it 12 3/8, but the bottom ledge where it's setting's right. I just got a gap up on top where I cut too much out, but I guess that don't matter too much. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is take this 2x8 and put it across there and just screw it to some of this old framing. Just see if my floor height's looking right over by them doors. Right, I got this 2x8 screwed up there, and I got a deck board scrap piece run across here. I put a level on it, and I'm right at the top of that block, so that's where I want the floor of the deck to be. So that's all good. This 2x8's where it needs to be, but I've got problems. I marked this pole wrong when I notched it. This should be setting on that, and it is not. It's off about 2 1/4 inches. So I marked this pole wrong, but what's worse is I marked this pole off of that pole, so now this one's wrong too. The only good thing is I hadn't cut the back of it yet. So I got to make all this work somehow. I'm going to have to re-notch it. I'm going to have to shim up underneath because I don't want to buy new poles. I'm going to have to do that in 3 places. And then I got to try to hide it all to where people don't know I screwed up. Except for me and you guys that are watching the video, right? Because most of this framing is going to show. So this shim under this side, there's going to have to be a 2 1/4 inch piece scabbed in here. That's going to show, but hopefully nobody sees it. On the that one there I can get right, that I haven't cut yet. And then on the front side, this ceiling's going to attach here in this area back to like where those rafters are. And then the ceiling of the deck will be at the bottom of that 2x12. And this area in here, I was gonna line it with barn boards. So that will cover all this front side where I've cut wrong. So I should only have one shim showing when I'm done. This portion of this wall will look much like, let me show you in the garage, a step down deal like that. So when I put the barn boards on there, that'll cover them 2 bad cuts. So anyway, I got me in one of them situations where they say measure twice and cut once. I didn't do that. So I got off to a real bad start this morning because this stuff is time consuming, this heavy stuff, and hard to work with anyway. It's going to take me an hour to get this straightened out now. I should have been paying attention, but I wasn't, so my own fault. So let's fix it. Jeremy, it's an hour later. I think I'm good now. I'll show you what I did. Got that one notched out. It's right. I hadn't cut it yet, so I was able to get it the way it was supposed to be. Got both of my 2x12s up. I've still got to cut a shim and put under that one. Had deck boards that were 1 1/8 inches. That's how far I was countersinking those. So I used that for a shim under that one and under this one. So it is what it is. It's a shame it happened, but I'm straightened out now. I'm level this way, I'm level this way, and I've got that setting on that now, and I'm right with my floor height. So I think I'm getting laid out right now, so maybe I can start moving forward a little quicker. Well, say this, I'm glad I put this board up here and checked that floor height before I kept going any further, or I would have had a hell of a mess on my hands. I didn't catch it in time, but I caught it before it got worse, you know, so that's good. Anyway, let's keep going here. All right, just took one of the 12-foot 2x8s. I cut a notch in it. From there to there, I think that'll drop down over my staircase landing and give us a joist on the other side. We're gonna try to drop that in there now and see what happens. That's where that needs to be. It would be right at the top of these. And I've got it notched in around the staircase landing, hanging out there on the end. But as I put a level on it, I needed to make my notch about a ½ inch deeper, so that'll come down just a little bit more. So we're gonna do that. All right, I notched that a little more, got it to drop down further. That's set and level now. That's level. That's level. So if I was to put one across the front on top of both of those, would it be level? That would be my hopes, right? Because if I get a square level box up here, after that, it's just a matter of finishing putting it together. I don't have to do near as much thinking. I'm getting tired of all the thinking, you know? I need something easy. Give me the low-hanging fruit here. I guess I'll just lay one of these 14-footers up there. If it's level, I'll feel real good going to bed tonight, knowing I can come out here in the morning and just start putting this together. If it's not level, then I'm gonna mess around the rest of tomorrow morning, figuring out why. So anyway, let's stick it up there and see what happens. All right, I'm gonna carry a level up there and see what I got. That corner up by the house is just a little bit low, but that's not terrible. I think I can get that a little bit better. I can work with that. My fear was I wouldn't be anywhere close. You know, you wouldn't be able to see the bubble because it's off in that white plastic there on the side somewhere. Didn't want that. I think I can work with that. After I got that notch, that worked real good around the staircase landing. We'll be able to get our last board in on it now. And we just about got a level square frame here to work with. So that's good, right? This guy likes to lay right where I'm walking. I think he's dreaming. Bub's looking at him like, you all right, bud? Anyway, not too many people watch these garage videos, but if you are watching this one, I just want you to know that making of this video, I have worked my ass off. This stuff is heavy. I got quite a bit done today, considering I had to fix that screw up. I'm pretty happy with everything otherwise. I think now that I've gotten this far, I can come out here tomorrow and really make a pretty good showing on it, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna go in and get some dinner and a shower and watch a little TV, I think. I've been watching the RNC a couple hours every night. I kind of like that stuff, so. Anyway, catch you tomorrow, guys. All right, back out here this morning, guys. This is day 2. I took a Sawzall and I made a cut in this floor back here so I can get that center post in. I got that cleared out down to the footing. It'll be in line with this one. Let's see if we can get a couple more 2x12s up there. I'm gonna have a post here along this end wall for the staircase somewhere. I gotta get that all trimmed up and ready to go in. But in this corner, there's gonna be another post. I had to get it in there, but all this framing holds the roof up. I don't want to tear the roof off right now. It's getting replaced eventually, but for right now, I'd like to save it. Anyway, they had double 2x4s going up here along this wall. I just made a cut in that one up high. It wasn't pinching my saw blade, so I didn't think it had too much weight on it. Well, I just about got that peeled out of there, and that's gonna give me an 1.5 inch clearance along my wall so I can get that floor joist put in there. And then, well, that's gonna help me. That's gonna help me move further along here, so I don't have to get a jack under there now because that other one's still holding it, you know. Anyway, let's move forward here. There we go. I got that peeled out of there. That's got to stay out about 1.5 inches anyway to miss this windowsill. So I think what I'll do is just put that one up tight against the windowsill. I can probably get my 2x8 in behind it. Then I'll just pull this one back here. There's a few screws in it. Pull it out just a little bit so they're both the same, and then the middle one as well, and get a ledger board right up against the wall. That might be where I start here this morning. Just got our next pole out. That wears me out just getting them off the trailer over to here. Got it marked out, 107 3/8. Marked it out. Then I went back and double checked my measurement, which was in fact 107 3/8. So I'm pretty confident I cut this, it should be right. I've thought that before. Anyway, we'll get this notched out, get it set up there, and I'll get you guys back in here. Just got this post in. My notch sure looks better that time. Looks pretty darn good. Get our 2x12s underneath the here. Work on this pole for a bit, get it in place. starting to get a pretty substantial frame here. Everything's going much better today than yesterday. Everything's laying in there pretty level. I still got to cut a shim underneath that bad cut right there. I got the front two done. The cuts today were good. So, yeah, this is getting pretty substantial support. I need to clear this corner out down here so I can get this next post up against a wall. I wonder how much of the weight is on this 2x4 that's going down through here that I left remaining. I think I'll just take a Sawzall and start cutting through it, and if my blade pinches, well, I don't know, there's weight on it, and I'll try to get a jack in there somewhere, but if I can cut it out without the blade pinching, I'll get this front belt and then get it set back down on there with something, you know. It looks like I can safely take that out of there. I just got to leave everything else. So I'm going to get this corner cleared out. Get this corner ready. Get both these poles up. And then as we're putting these 2x12s up, we got to tie all these back in so they act as a header to hold that roof up for now until we get further along. And then those will come out also, but right now they got to stay. I tell you what, nothing like deciding to build a deck, but where you want to put the deck. And I've probably built 10 decks, you know, nothing like this, because first I got to tear down a building where I want the deck to go. And the building is built extra heavy because I used to store saccrete in it. You can see how heavy it was. Floor's 2 inches thick. But before you can do any of that, you got to move an old cold furnace that weighs over a ton with about 100 bricks that it's setting on, plus about a ton of coal left in the coal bins, if not more. Then you got to tear the building down, make room where the deck's going. But you're saving the roof. You're tearing the building down, but you're trying to keep the roof. Makes for a bit of a difficult project, I guess. But anyway, we're getting there. Every day this is getting just a little bit closer. And I'm starting to see the vision in my mind come together, you know. I like that. I'm gonna put a new blade in the Sawzall and clear this corner out and notch me out another pole. Taking a little break, notching that pole out, doing all them saw cuts really hurts my back and stuff. Anyway, I about got it. I filmed the introduction for this video 2 days ago when I got back from the lumberyard with that trailer. And I was watching the video last night, just kind of doing some editing. I'm gonna delete that because what it was about 3 or 4 minutes of me complaining, and I'd went to the lumberyard to get this load of stuff. It was $1,200 worth of heavy treated lumber. I had all them 6x6s and 2x12s and stuff. I pulled out back with the trailer into the board shed. There's 2 young guys out there, long hair. One of them had a man bun, tattoos. They saw me pull up and start loading this stuff. One of them's playing on his phone, the other one's aimlessly driving around with a forklift. And the one on his phone is like he's holding a station for the forklift driver to come back, like I can't leave my post. About 10 minutes later, the forklift driver comes back. They play on their phone for a while. By that time, I'd already started loading the trailer. They they pay no attention to me whatsoever, and I'm dragging around some heavy shit. They pull up on the forklift with a bundle of banded 2x4s. They raise them up to the board rack, and the two of them start sliding these little lightweight 2x4s off. It took them 40 minutes to unload those 2x4s onto the shelf. In that 40 minutes, I had the trailer loaded with the 2x12s and 6x6s and 2x8s, all heavy treated stuff. I was mad. They never offered to help me. Those are the young guys that give that generation a bad name. I'm not used to dealing with them. The young guys around here, the 20-year-old guys like my son and his group of friends, those are tough kids. I shouldn't even call them kids. They're men, but them guys would help you, you know. But these guys, yeah, they really upset me that day. So when I got back here and filmed the introduction for the video, I was really going off on them. But that kind of stuff just irritates me a little bit, you know. And then I think it was later on, I can't remember when it was. I was gonna say I thought that shooting happened with Trump, but I think that happened earlier. That whole thing irritated me too. I like Trump. I think probably most of the guys watching this channel probably are Trump supporters, I'm guessing. Not everybody. I mean, we got, I'm sure, the other side on here too, but what I'm getting at, no matter what side you're on, it's not okay to go around taking a shot at people. There's too many nut jobs running loose around the world. I mean, are you really safe with all these crazies running? I'm glad I live here where I do, because nothing happens here, really, very often. So, anyway, I'm gonna get back to cutting here, and I wanna try to get this last pole up, and then I'm probably gonna go in for today, because I'm gonna tell you guys, this deck is killing me. It is killing me. Anyway, I got this other pole notched out. I did get that corner all cut out down to the footing without the roof falling. Yet, don't try that at home. Here's where I ended up getting to. This is Friday afternoon. Got that one notched out for some 2x12s and getting a pretty solid structure up here. Able to tear the rest of that out soon. Anyway, I'm gonna go in for today. Guys, I went in and got cleaned up. I got to looking, we got 40 plus minutes on this video. It's getting pretty long. I was gonna do a little more, but you guys don't wanna hang out with me for a whole hour, I don't think. I'm gonna go ahead and post this, and next time around, Model T maybe? Deck maybe? I don't know. Whatever I have material for, most likely. But either way, we'll do something. I want to thank you guys for watching, following along. I want to thank all my subscribers. We got past 900. That's good. I hit 1,000. I'm going to feel bona fide, you know, bona fide. Anyway, thanks for everything, guys. Please like, comment, share, all them things. We'll catch you on the next one. Later, Jeremy.